The Growth of Technology in the Classroom by Andrew MacDonald. Technology is being used more by students and teachers in the classroom as traditional methods of teaching in schools are becoming obsolete. This presentation will expand on the modern-day classroom as the notion of technology is explored through the advantages and disadvantages of this important social change. The impact of technology will be looked at from a political and ethical position, as will be the impact that it is having on students and teachers alike. The ethical argument of technology. With more and more people, including students, now accessing social networking websites to communicate with each other on a daily basis, schools are having to find new ways of keeping up with our ever-changing society. As our social norms evolve with society becoming more reliant on technology, schools need to ensure that they stay in touch with current trends when delivering education. But despite the advantages that may come with having more technology in the classroom, there are also ethical issues that emerge. For example, the rise in the use of social media has led to an increased awareness amongst educators about the pitfalls of having a public profile on websites such as Facebook that are accessible to almost anyone. Moranto and Barton explore the issues that go further than just that of having personal information and photographs published on the internet. The use of social media whereby a person can create a personalized profile may lead to the ethical and moral dilemma that can face some teachers and educators when it comes to students contacting them outside of the normal communication channels. In some cases, such communication outside of the classroom may lead some to suspect improper relations between teacher and student. Other issues arise as smartphones and other types of computers can be used by students as a distraction when in the classroom. While there have arguably always been distractions in the classroom, with some students using their time at school to read a magazine, finish homework for the next subject, or even daydream or chat with other classmates, the increase in the use of social media and technology in society in general has certainly made it more challenging for educators to garner full and an undivided attention of students. Advantages. Nevertheless, the benefits of technology for students is clear. Students can now participate in online classes and interact on online discussion boards with their peers while uploading assignments over the internet. This allows a more practical solution for those who are in remote regions or who may have a disability. This will prepare students for the future as technology is now a substantial part of our everyday lives. From accessing emails at work to doing personal banking at home, these skills will benefit the student as they learn and grow. Disadvantages. However, even though technology is growing and is inevitable in our everyday life, it does have its limits. Technology, including the internet, is lacking in rural parts of Australia and third world countries. Some children may not be computer savvy as others or not have a computer or internet at home. Social skills may suffer if a healthy balance is not made between face-to-face teaching and online delivery. Ethical issues emerge and students could suffer disadvantages from the increased use of technology in society. This is true as plagiarism and cyberbullying becomes more common with the ability to now purchase assignments and even create anonymous accounts on social media. This may lead to distrust of technology. The balance of technology. It is suggested by Burgeon that teachers will need to discover or maintain the best balance for computer learning based on individual students. According to Burgeon, this type of learning requires that direct teaching and interactive, social and group activities are not neglected. Electronic databases such as online libraries are emerging, but traditional libraries are still essential for the purpose of accessing materials which have not made the online transition. Researching using a search engine can take away from the experience gained by traditional methods. The process of physically searching whereby the student must filter through an actual book allows for the development of skills that are likely relied upon if technology is not available. Teachers will also need to be vigilant when their classroom and students become more technologically advanced and new methods are introduced. By doing this, the teacher will be able to stay on top of the educational needs and understandings of how the system works as the curriculum changes. Research into the use of technology in the classroom has shown that some students are hesitant when it comes to change. Frey and Fall explored a situation where students were not aware that a class they had joined would actually be an online course rather than being delivered face-to-face. The research showed that some of the students were at first uneasy about the change and preferred the conventional syllabus. For one student in particular, it seemed that the idea of using a computer to undertake a course was too complex, especially as the student was not very aware as to how to use the technology. Nevertheless, the student quickly realized the convenience of sending an assignment through the internet, receiving their grades online, and the ease of contributing to online discussions, which appeared to actually make the educational experience better. This research conducted demonstrates the advantages of technology and shows the need to find a balance between the use of technology in the classroom and the more traditional methods of delivering educational content. The use of one should not mean the eradication of the other. The three key concepts. It is clear that if education is to be successful, it must be delivered effectively online for students who are studying by distance. Funding will need to be increased to establish a wider internet access point for all students. This policy can only be successfully implemented by following three key concepts. These concepts are discourse analysis, business of policy making, and the debates in education policies. They must be used to garner support and funding from the government. Discourse analysis has been the language used when debating key changes in educational policies. Jacob states that Cambridge-based philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein argued that there were multiple meanings to all the words we use and that we associated the meaning of these words with our own social context. This lexicon would allow those to consider the proposal set forth so that general interest could multiply. Next would be the business of policy making. This key concept is based around the notion of mediatization, which has been explored by Lingard and Roll as they look at the effects of the relations between the government and media. One term which has been used is government by media spin, which refers to the overwhelming influence that the media has on finalizing most educational policies. This relationship keeps the public aware of future progress as the government continues to be held responsible and accountable for its decision making. The last concept is the debates in education policies. This is seen as Klonowski and White-Smith explore the policy of the Naplin test. This test proved to be expensive and wasteful in terms of government funding and school resources. Nevertheless, these concepts are in place so that policy discussion and debates about funding can be addressed in a way that will aid in the education of our youth. The blend of traditional teaching and new e-learning methods does not mean that one will take over the other. Face-to-face interaction and sociability must be balanced with the virtual world. As Cole highlights, online study using technology will fulfill the performance of students when utilized effectively. Despite the cost of technology and the wait for more wide-reaching internet coverage devices such as the NBN satellite, the positive influence of such technology in education is arguably worth the momentary inconveniences. The reward far outweighs the wait, but as technology is rapidly evolving, government funding needs to be increased. The use of technology in the delivery of education can help improve students' abilities to complete tasks and work more effectively. With this ever-increasing use of technology, the curriculum must also continue to change and further funds must be provided which need to be put towards online education. This would allow a larger group of people to actively participate in the ever-evolving classroom. This is what democracy stands for, the liberty that allows all citizens to get the best education available regardless of their social inequalities, location or personal ailments. While there are both advantages and disadvantages to the use of technology in the classroom and in the delivery of educational content, it is clear that the best policy is one that allows for a balance between both traditional methods of teaching and more modern methods which encompass the use of technology, social media, and the internet into the teaching and learning environment.